today with a brand new first impressions and hopefully some swatches for you. I haven't been this excited about a new release from any brand for a very long time, much less a new release collection from MAC. Now, I'm sure as with everyone else, MAC was the first beauty brand I ever got into when I started wearing makeup, and from I think over the years, more than 10 years, I've kind of been going back and forth buying their eyeshadows or lipsticks, highlighters, and I think just the most recent years, because I've become more aware of other brands and other releases, I've just been a little bit more interested in what they're doing, especially a lot more of the indie brands, new local beauty brands that have been coming onto the market. So MAC has always been one who they release quite a lot of different kind of limited edition collaborations with a lot of artists, lots of really famous people, and they always come up with a lot of different colors. So they came out with a new range called the Liptensity range, and if I could just read out this for you. So I've got the notes here. The new range has been created in collaboration with a person called Maureen Seberg, and she is something called a tetrachromat. And it just means that she can see like 100 times more colors than the average person. So they work together to basically come up with colors that are super pigmented, very true to color, and as beautiful as possible. So this is touted to be MAC's most pigmented formula to date. So I was just really excited, and I was immediately drawn to all the neutral colors, because I've tried to find neutral colors for myself, but always like a little bit too pink, a little bit too brown, just a little bit too gray, and it's just a little kind of not the color I'm looking for. And when I saw that they had a whole bunch of neutral colors that kind of lean to this kind of neutral skin tone brown, I thought it was so beautiful. So I can't wait to show you. I've got 5 colors here, and I'm just gonna grab the lipsticks, and this is what they look like. Now, excuse my skanky nails because I haven't had a chance to go and reapply, but I just wanted to show you how beautiful these are. So you can see I've got a whole bunch of neutrals and then a couple of pops of color which are completely up my alley. I have here, I think it's called Dough, Toast and Butter, what is this called? Smoked Almond, Masala, and something called Hellebore, and the more kind of colorful colors are like a kind of really beautiful fuchsia pink. It's like really deep, and then you have a true purple right here, and then I've obviously got like these smoky neutrals right there. So I think I am gonna try to swatch these for you on the back of my hands. I'm gonna try them on my lips as well, so you're getting lip swatches and how they go with my skin tone. And let's get started. I wanted to start off with the fact that I just love the packaging of this range. Now, I'm not really sure whether it's going to be part of the permanent range or as limited edition collection. I really hope that this is going to be part of their permanent range. I know I haven't swatched it, so a little bit of a background story. I saw the launch of this collection. I hopped online, I think it was either Nordstrom or Macy's, and ordered all the colors and basically just waited for them to arrive. So I haven't seen them in store in Dubai, and I haven't swatched them at all. So for all I know, they could be absolutely terrible, but I've seen swatches online, especially from Tantalia. I really like her, and the colors look really beautiful. They're obviously a much more creamy formula than I'm used to. I much prefer mattes, but I just thought if these are going to be comfortable and pigmented, I don't really mind that. I'd rather get a really nice lipstick formula and try this out, and I think the colors are totally worth it. So the packaging itself is very much unlike MAC packaging. So usually you just have the bullet that's all black. I always found those really difficult because I'll have a whole collection of them and I just don't know which one is which unless you kind of read the color at the back. So I like the fact that everything in this range is color coordinated. You can easily find the color that you're looking for. It's a much slimmer tube. It feels almost metallic. It's quite like a heavyweight lipstick, so it doesn't feel cheap at all. I do think the price range was a little bit higher than what we used to. I think these retail for either $21 or $24 each. So they are quite up there in terms of a price range. Obviously not as much as you would for a Tom Ford or Chanel, but still. But I really like this packaging. I think it's so chic. It's really, really beautiful. And then when you pop this open, you basically get a flat top bullet like this. Now, I have heard that a lot of people say it makes it quite difficult to get like a perfect lip line, but I don't know. I'm just gonna try it out and see what they're like. You get quite a lot of product in here. I think that's about the same amount as a normal lipstick. If I can see, doesn't say how much you get on here. I'll find out the information and link it in the description box below. Like all MAC lipstick, it smells really vanilla-y. It's quite sweet, so you're basically getting that same MAC experience. Now I'm gonna start swatching them, and let's see how they turn out. So this one is called Dough, and it's a much lighter kind of neutral brown shade. It looks a little bit like this. I'm gonna swatch it first at the back of my hands. So it's not as creamy as I thought it would be. It's a little bit of a dry consistency. And I've done 3 swatches at the back of my hands because it is much lighter color. And this is the amount of payoff I get. It looks a lot more pink in the swatch than it does in the tube, but that's basically the color. And it is quite beautiful. I anticipate this to be like a nice everyday color. You can basically put it on a bit like a balm. So I'm now gonna try and put this on my lips and see how it looks like. I just noticed I don't have a mirror, so I'll be right back. Obviously really disorganized today, so I've got a mirror now. I've done the rest of my makeup. I have nothing on my lips except for a little bit of lip balm. My lips have been really dry lately, so I've put some balm on to make them as smooth as possible. And then I am going to start swatching. So first one I'm gonna try is Dough. And this is the color on my lips. Looks, I think before me, it looks quite natural. It's a little bit of a lighter skin tone against my skin than I expected, and I kind of wanted it to be a little less peachy, so I can definitely see a lot of peach tones in this color. But first impressions, it actually goes on really well on the lips. It's really, really creamy, really smooth, and it feels very comfortable. And for this color, I can definitely see that it is a little bit sheerer. So I have a lot of pigmentation in my lips, especially just around the sides and underneath. And it doesn't completely cover those pigmentation. I think I'll definitely go in, if I was wearing this color again, I'll definitely go in with like a lip pencil, try to make them look a little bit fuller, and I think that will go really well. So that's not too bad. It's not my favorite color at the moment, but let's move on to the second one. So in between swatches, I'm going to just take the lip color of my lips and then just pat it down dry. Next, I have a color called Toast and Butter. That sounds absolutely delicious. I really like toast and butter with a little bit of sugar sprinkled on top. Now you can definitely see that this is a little bit of a mid-tone brownie nude, and I think this will look amazing on deeper skin tones. That will be really, really cool. So I'm going to swatch this on the hands first. And again, just against the skin, it feels a little bit drier than it feels on the lips. And this is what it looks like. So you can see that it is definitely a little bit deeper, less peachier than Dough. And it is there, right there, with a lovely little shine right across it. And I'm going to now try it on my lips. You just hate it when like you're trying to just mush your lips together and then all the veins in your neck start showing up, and it kind of tells like, oh, you're getting old. Anyway, I love this color. I think that looks so good. Definitely have that little bit of 90s feel, so it's definitely like a true brown. It's quite light, and again, it's definitely a little bit more pigmented. I'm just gonna switch a little bit there. It's definitely a little bit more pigmented than Doe was. I'm not sure if it's coming up in the cameras, but I really like that. I think that suits my skin tone really, really well, and it's definitely a kind of neutral color. So I've got that brown nude going on without it being too pink or peachy or grey. So I think that actually is really nice. And again, formula is the same. This one tugged a little bit, I think because I had less lip balm on my lips, but it feels really creamy. It's really light. Kind of feels a little bit balmy, which is quite nice, especially since my lips can be dry. I really like that color. I think that is definitely a plus for me. Let's move on to the next one. Next, I have something called Smoked Almond. Now, about this one, I wasn't too sure initially. In the swatches, it looked really super dark, super brown. But I just thought it might be a little bit out of my comfort zone, but still really pretty, so I got it anyway. And this is what it looks like. It's definitely got much more of a pink undertone compared to the other two. And same smell. I'm gonna swatch it at the back of my hands. Yeah, that definitely has much more of a pinker undertone if you look at that. So a little bit peachy, neutral brown, and then that looks more like the usual neutral color that people would usually get, especially in the drugstore. So let's try that on the lips. Definitely pigmented. I don't mind it on the lips actually. I thought it was gonna be really super pink on my skin, but it's actually quite pretty on the lips. I'm not sure what you think. Now I have to say, because it's a much more creamy formula, it does kind of fill into the lip lines. It's not completely smooth. And I can definitely see when I'm just sort of not smiling, it's kind of just all I see is wrinkles, but that could just be me. I don't think it's the formula at all. I definitely would go in with a lip pencil just to kind of clean up the lines a little bit. And I can see what people mean by this is quite difficult to get like a precise lip line. I've seen some people kind of use like the very tip, see like the very tip of the lipstick bullet to sort of do your lines, but I think that'll just wear out fairly soon. But otherwise, I think it goes on really nicely. That's still a really nice color. I do like the second one, Toast and Butter, the best at the moment. But it's quite pretty. Let's move on to the next one. And then we have Masala. Now, if you remember a couple of years back, I think the Pantone color of the year was Masala. And I remember everyone was rushing to kind of get out this color that was like a reddish, kind of deep rusty color, and I think some did it a little bit more successfully than others, but I can definitely see this color coming back. I think a lot of people are coming out with those reddish earthy tones, and this was quite beautiful, so it looks really cool. And it's like an almost purple deep red color, so it looks like that. And that is a beautiful color. So totally up my alley. I think I have a lot of colors that are sort of in that same family. And you can see it's caught a little bit at the back of my hands, but again, it feels different on the lip, so just bearing that in mind. Now I'm going to try this with kind of darker colors, more pigmented colors. I like to just kind of pat them on and see how that goes. That is so pigmented. I think that will look so pretty as a stain, and then I'm just gonna go in and fill in the rest of the lips. I can definitely see that I need a lip pencil with this one. I don't have really defined lip lines, so it's kind of gone a little bit overwhelmed. I'm gonna try to see if I can neaten it up with the edges. Is that like the neatest I can make it? And that is what the color looks like. That is absolutely stunning. It's definitely super pigmented, super creamy. I don't think it's gonna last through a meal. You definitely have to reapply, and I would definitely suggest bringing a lip brush in. I could definitely kind of clean up the edges using the side, but it's not completely precise. And let's see if I can do this. Okay, that's slightly better. So pretty. It's definitely like much more of a berry tone than a rusty, earthy red, but that is one of the most prettiest color. I think with toast and butter, and this one is definitely a close 1 and 2. And that is Masala. I'm gonna have the last one for you to swatch. Actually, before I show you the very last color, I just wanted to show that I patted the shine down and just took off a little bit of the excess, and that is actually just the way I would wear it. It's just settled down into this kind of satin matte, and it looks really, really nice and not as kind of terrible with the lip lines actually. So it's definitely sort of there. And it just looks fantastic. So even if I have really, really dry lips, that looks amazing. I really like that. That's really cool. And finally, we have Hal War, and this looks like a genuinely really dark purple lipstick. I have a lot of dark, kind of deep berry tones in my collection, but nothing that is sort of like a straight up purple. So I thought this was really interesting, and it will be, I don't have something like this in my collection, so that would be really nice just to see what it looks like. I'm gonna swatch this at the bottom right here. Oh wow, that actually came out very, very creamy compared to the others, and you can see it is just that really rich purple tone. That is so cool. Here it is in comparison with the rest, so quite excited to try that and see what it looks like. Just gonna do that. Okay, for some reason this one is a lot creamier than the rest. Even when I'm just patting on, it goes straight on really nicely, and it didn't pull onto any dry patches, so that's really nice. So straight off the bat, this one has much more of a balmy feel, and on my lips, on the skin, it's definitely a little bit patchy. It's not straight pigmentation like you would if you had a matte lipstick, for example. Um, I'm gonna see if I can clean the lines up a little bit and sort of like pat it down. And that is what it looks like. Let me see if I can get a little bit of a pad and just kind of pat it. And I'm just going to correct a little bit. And that is how it kind of goes from like a really out there color to something a little bit easier to do, to wear kind of on an everyday. I just literally all I did was take a dry cotton pad and just pat it just to take the shine off, and some of the creaminess off, and it just becomes much more wearable. And that is quite unusual. I'm not used to seeing such an out there color on me. Um, it's definitely still in the berry purpley tone family, but with a bit of a like edge to it. So that is actually quite cool. I think if I'm feeling like a little bit of fun, I would definitely just crack it out, and wear it. So that's quite pretty. And that's all of the swatches. So first impressions is that colors are amazing. Even the first one, Dough, which was a little bit of like, not sure about this. That turned out to be really nice. My favorite is still definitely this one, which is Toast and Butter, with Masala coming in a close second. Even though I think that's the usual color that I always gravitate towards, and this one is a little bit more unusual. Hellebore turned out to be a surprising hit. And I also really like Smoke Almond, which is this shade, and I think that would suit deeper skin tones so beautifully, and even Hellebore, which is the purple, that would look amazing again on deeper skin tones. So I like the fact that they came out with newer colors, colors that would suit across a variety of shades, because usually I would find that when they call something nude, they just mean really pale, and that doesn't really go with me, and I'm sure with a lot of other people as well. So it's quite nice that they have broadened their horizons a little bit and started coming up with other shades that really nice, and I think would suit a great number of different people. And it is extremely creamy, and again, I usually gravitate towards matte lipsticks, so the super dry just completely matte, or even liquid lipsticks, I absolutely love those. So don't traditionally wear a lot of creamy ones, so these ones are quite unusual, but they feel really comfortable and they're really nice. Definitely have that signature MAC scent, quite vanilla-y. So I've had this on for a little bit, but I can still smell it. So it's right up there. What else? I guess I'll continue wearing them. They are really nice. I like the colors, I like the formula. I absolutely adore the packaging. I think they're definitely worth a look. So if you see them in your local stores, do definitely have a bit of a peek and let me know what your favorite color is. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please click subscribe down below. If you'd like to see me review anything else, or even tell you what this look is, I would have the stuff that's on my arch right now. I'm using an eyeshadow palette that I've previously reviewed, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Mario Master palette, and it's really, really cool. It's one of my favorite palettes to use at the moment, and one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas. So do go and check that out. So I'll see you next time. Bye.